Yeah.
Hey,
What's going
what's up?
on? Listen, one of these weeks I'm gonna get it right. I keep forgetting that you like to show up and show out. You know what I'm saying? You like to get your burlesque and your costumes out and
Is
you know
it burlesque? Is it costumes?
of course
I
I'm into
never knew
that.
I was a burlesque type of girl.
Now, I think
It's just, it's just me.
if anybody
It's just me, y'all. All right, I was gonna try to put this mic on today, but it's raining outside. It's cold. I'm not bothered with it. You guys, I realized that I'm loud and clear when I was watching last week's show. I'm loud. So can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me?
oh, I can hear you. I was talking to people.
We
Listen,
are so silly.
I can
Who
hear you.
else do we have on? We have Teresa Mackey online. That's my homegirl from the Peace Spot from way back. Hey T, what's up, girl? So what's going on with you? How's your week been?
It's it's been a weirdish kind of week, you know. It's been kind of weird.
Why?
Got off to a slow kind of start, and things didn't all pan out and gel together nicely. But you know, I stuck it out.
You
You know,
stuck?
fell out on the week,
Yeah,
so I stuck it out and made it to today, and it's gotten a little better. It's gotten a little better, but you know,
progress.
I'm
I
still closed.
throw them bows because I feel like that was my week last week. I feel like I
Yeah,
got my swag back a little bit this week, but last week I felt like I was just playing catch up, and I'm like, how do you play catch up from home? Like, who does who does that? You know. So anyway, well, welcome everyone to what is this? The third episode of Live, Laugh, and Exercise. I'm Michaela. I have my lovely, well, I can't say lovely. You're so masculine. I have my handsome co-host, Mr. Everett. Introduce yourself to the people.
Mr. Everett here, thug with the thug with the muscles. I always like to say that, throw that
You
in there.
know, I like a good thug, man. I dated the intellectuals. I dated the geeks. I don't like them. I like the thugs.
That's right. That's right. Thug
But are
Nation.
you really a thug? But are
Not re-
you really a thug?
not really, but I like to use that as my calling card. So you know,
Wow, I'm really a thug. So watch out. Watch out. Anyway, so we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight. Those of you who are just joining us, whose first time it is, this is kind of how it works. We are just having a friendly, candid, open conversation about things that we would normally talk about in a private group, but we decided to open it up to you guys. The topics pertain to living, laughing, and exercising. And I think that like our lives, my life, I think Everett's life kind of boils down to that. So I'll kick off some starter questions and we'll just kind of have a discussion. We definitely want you all to chime in and you can spark a new conversation or take what we say on a tangent. The world is yours, okay? So I'll kick it off tonight since you kicked it off in such an incredible way last week, my handsome co-host. So I want to start by talking about sheltering in place. I think we should just knock out the live portion because it's been driving me nuts for 7 weeks. I want to know, are you one of those people that have like abided by the shelter in place order, or have you been taking liberties, or have you not? And I want you can answer, and then I'm going to go on my rant. But I want you to answer first because I'm about to go in, and I just want to let you know. Go for it.
well, first of all, Michaela, it's a very loaded question, and I'm hoping you don't lose any followers because of this. But but no, I have not. No, I'm not playing. I have definitely been abiding. But here's the thing: when you talk about shelter in place, it and I've said this many times before, there is a certain element to our humanity and our health and our sanity that involves me going out, right? Even take, for example, a day like today where it's rainy and cloudy. The way that affects me is I like to just drag along, I may procrastinate, I may lounge around. It's a day to get into bed.
This is God's way of telling everybody to shelter in place, by the way. I'm sorry to cut you off, but this rain is like sit your ass down for all you people that don't shelter in place. I digress. Go ahead.
But like just like that, on a day like today, the sun can come out and all of a sudden you're in a better mood. All of a sudden I'm, picked back up. So this week, you asked me about my week. So this week I had to go down. All right, true story. I had to go down to South Carolina. And I had to go down there because my brother, who, fortunate enough, it's crazy because this is he just finished up his first year in college, and he has a full ride scholarship. And little did he know that he was going to be pulled out, right, because of this whole corona. So they called us down there. They put this window up. They said, you got to go down here. You have to get your stuff out of this dorm at this particular time. And I was amazed because when I went down there, they're literally, and this is why I love to travel, because you see all the diversity. Literally down there, no one's walking around with masks. No one's walking around with gloves. No one, it's like it doesn't even exist.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. No, it was completely, it baffled me to no end. I was just like none of the cashiers, none of the
Where was this? Where was this again?
It was so it wasn't South Carolina. We hadn't got to South Carolina yet, but so it was North Carolina. And I mean, there was nobody there. I said, wow, like this is just, it's unbelievable. But I do believe that it is definitely, because I said when I get back, I said I'm going to definitely, stay inside and keep to myself, etc. But I was very surprised. It's two different worlds. Here in DC, where everything's popping and where everybody's congested, and this is what we do. This is our way of life. We put the stuff on, we put the mask on, put the gloves on, we stay in.
I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to cut you off on purpose because I hear you talking about North Carolina, South Carolina, what they do here. I want to know if you, Everett Shitmone, if you have been abiding by the shelter in place order.
What's going on, Seth?
What's up?
I've been
abiding. And if not, if so, why or why not? And if not, why or why not? I honestly want to know.
Well, first of all, I have been for the most part, okay? For the most part. Now, obviously, I still have to interact because I still have to, train people. I still have to meet in person. And when I do that, I do have my gloves, I do have my mask, and I do take my precautions. And I've been able to find out, and this is really interesting, I've been able to buy my groceries at a 2-week pace instead of 1 week, which allows me to not have to go to the grocery store as often. So as far as that, I've been doing it for the most part, but I have to get out, even if it's just to walk. Like I have to get out.
Why do you have to get out?
You want to know?
Because I hear people say this, and if you listen to your president, talk, it's worse to stay inside than to go outside and get COVID and die. Like, leave it up to him. And it sounds like you kind of leaning that way, like you have to go out. Like, contract COVID and run the risk of dying versus stay your ass in the house. Oh, I got to get out. I gotta understand this because I'm not connecting with people on this level yet, and I need to hear it. And if any of you have any questions or comments about this topic, if you're just joining us, we're talking about abiding or disobeying the shelter in place order. And Everett just made the point that he's been doing it for the most part, but he has to get out. So that's where we are now. Feel free to chime in. Everett, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to get out because, like I said, and I did a IG episode or IGTV episode weeks back, and I talked about the 4 balancing factors of humankind, right? Which being social bonding, emotional relationships, the physical aspect, and the mental component, right? And they operate as pillars of a house. And so if one is missing, if they take away for instance, the social bonding, we need to shore up everything else. So for me, getting out and being active and stimulating my mentals is just as important. Like, to me, it's a risk. It's a risk worth taking, right? But when I go out, in all fairness, when I go out, I cover up.
You're giving me
I told,
hot flashes.
I told you might lose some followers on this. I told you.
Look, you're not going to lose. We're not losing followers. I'm about to lose my goddamn mind. Get the followers. I'm getting hot flashes right here. Okay, back up. Let me just take several steps back. I love you and I appreciate you. And at some very basic level, I get what you're saying. I get with people how that whole activity, especially for active individuals, people who are used to being out and about free, how that is a luxury that we miss. But don't get it twisted. Going out and going on runs is not a necessity to life. It is a happy convenience that if we have it to take advantage of, we can. You can open up a damn window. You can walk up and down the steps. You can walk up and down. And when I say you, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about me. I don't buy into that whole philosophy that if you can't walk outside, that you're going to go goddamn crazy. Y'all need to download like the Calm app or something, because this is like ridiculous. My whole thing, yeah, download the Calm app. They're not making no money off this, but that's what I suggest. Here's my thing, and it kills me with society. People act like a slight inconvenience or even a major inconvenience is like the end of the world. And maybe it's because I grew up like under rough conditions for a certain part of my life, where it was a time in my life I was homeless, where, you know, my mom was on drugs. I grew up rough for like the first 8 years of my life. So it's certain things that like, it takes a lot for me to feel like inconvenienced. Okay. In this day and age, yes, I love that I have my own home. I love that I have the freedom, you know, my own car, and I can go out and do. But if those things were taken away from me, like, I'd still be good. I still have my health. I still have my sanity, and I still have my loved ones. And I think that people get so caught up in this, I don't have everything I want and need, so now I'm gonna damn die. And the fact of the matter is, it's not about us as individuals and what needs we're serving for ourselves. It's about all those interactions that get you from point A to point B. That person who just might be walking by you, who's also not wearing a mask, or who's not wearing a mask, who has COVID, who could give it to you, or you walking around with it, being able to tolerate it because you're someone with a healthy immune system, and walking by a homeless person or walking by somebody else and giving it to them. It's about that doorknob that one person touches and the other person touches and then touches their face. It's about, if by some horrible chance, one of these people who are outside, gotta be outside, contracts it, and is that person that tips the scale in the hospital, where the hospital is getting overwhelmed. It's so much bigger than us and our individual needs that people need to sit down and take it serious. I go out once a week, and that's to the grocery store. Okay, that's my one time. I get in my car. I have a private lot. I get in my car. I have gloves. I have masks in my car. I park in the lot at Whole Foods. I put my gloves on, all that out of Whole Foods. I go straight in. I social distance. I do my thing. I come back. I wash my clothes. I come in. I shower right after. That's my direct place in and out. I say that to say, every time I drive by one of the cul-de-sacs that's in between my house and Whole Foods, and I see that cul-de-sac filled with like 100 people, like it's outside, like it's a festival, in groups of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, standing 2 feet away with no mask, acting like it's not a damn pandemic going on here. And it drives me nuts. It's like an elitist Washington, D.C., I'm young, healthy, like it's this little elitist thing people have about them where it don't matter until it affects them. And it drives me nuts. And maybe it's because I don't know, maybe because I have an elderly dad. Maybe it's because I have tons of friends who are doctors. I'm from New York where it's been hit really hard because I have kids. I don't know where the sensitivity is, but I know that it drives me nuts. Like to the point that once a week I go out, I always come back in the house upset. Awful when I'm seeing people sprinting, running outside, no damn mask, with it windy outside, pushing their damn COVID breath like 12 feet away, infecting it. It's like, and this is my last part of my rant. Here's my other thing. People with their little flimsy ass masks that think they don't have to observe social distancing. I was in Whole Foods with my damn N95 mask that I've had for like 3 years, right? And I got one because I was painting 3 years ago and I found it. And people with their little homemade t-shirt masks feeling like 6 feet of social distancing and flimsy ass mask is mutually like exclusive. And I'm like, no, it's about wearing a mask and also staying your ass 6 feet away from me. It's just, I don't know. People in DC are killing me. And I think that people need to check themselves and really come to grips with what is really important. And at the end of the day, your safety, the safety of the community, and our life is most important. You're not going to be able to enjoy that walk outside or that run outside if your ass is dead. And that's my point. That's my rant.
No, hey, I appreciate the rant. You know, I do not discriminate against opposing perspectives. The interesting thing is that I definitely got people in my circle that would totally agree with you, but when I look at it, is that you know, you're always going to have people on both sides, right? You're going to have people who think it's too much, people who think it's too little. The reason why I walk around with the mask, and I mean, I have a bunch of masks that I have. I have a couple boxes of gloves. I have plenty of sanitizer, some that I even made before I was able to find sanitizer on the shelves. So I have plenty of the equipment that they have suggested. And the reason that I put it on and the reason that I wear it is because of that. It's because of the fact that chance, there being that chance that I could catch it, or the chance that I could have it and pass it. So for me, it's not about as much as being like impervious to it or standoffish and, you know, oh no, I'm too good, I'm just healthy. No, it's not about that. It's about me taking those precautions. It's just I'm not the overwhelmingly panicky type. So I'll get in, I'll get my stuff, I'll do what I need to do. I practice my social like when I meet with clients, I literally keep my distance and, you know, take whatever chances. I mean, you never know what's true anymore, but I've even read people being inside that have gotten, you know, that have become infected.
So you like, if you could get it when you inside, I might as well go outside. Yeah.
Well, I feel like, so I'm a risk taker, right? I'm a risk taker, but I'm also a calculated risk taker. So I'm not going to just go out like brazen, like, oh, this thing ain't going to bother me. Yeah, I'm good. I'm all the way. No, I'll take my precautions. I've limited all of my activity. I'm inside more than I'm out. But at the same time, I do recognize that for me, I do need, you know, to be out and underneath of the, like in the actual elements. It just helps me mentally and all of those sorts of things.
If you didn't have that, would you go crazy? Like to the point where you needed a psychiatrist?
Well, you know,
if you didn't do that, you would not be able to cope.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Right?
Yes or no question. Yes or no question. Yes or no question.
Okay, well, I think it depends, because I think that, like, for instance, when you look at people, for instance, and I've had friends who have been in the prison system, right? When people go crazy in the prison system, a lot of times they're going crazy because, for instance, the people who they call lifers, who are in jail for life, it doesn't matter to them, right? But people who have a finite sentence, if it's like, oh, I'm in there for a year, you can kind of maintain, you know, that element of composure in a sense more than if it's indefinite. When it's indefinite, and I think that's what we have in our society right now, we have something that's indefinite. So people are saying, oh my gosh, I have to get out, I have to get out. Not because they wouldn't go crazy otherwise, but because there's no definite end. And so in their mind and in our
There
minds,
is an
like,
end. There is an end. We
what's the end?
always find it. There is an end. We don't know the end, but there is an end. A lifer doesn't have an end, but knows that there's no end. And a person in jail knows that there's an end. They just can't take it. I don't know if that's the best analogy. It's just that people are goddamn, they want what they want, because
Right now,
you honestly would not go crazy. A strong person like you would
no,
not go crazy from having to be inside for 2 months. Come on.
maybe not me, but I do feel that there is a chance of you lose a piece. You lose a piece. That's all I say. Now, like I said, so I don't just skip and gallivant, all around and out through the town. But yeah.
Okay. We are going to agree to disagree on this. I have very strong feelings about this. Strong. Like, there's no deviation. It, like, to the point where it like touches the depths of my soul. Like, and I'm trying to connect, and I understand what you're saying. And I actually I agree. I mean, if I have the choice to be outside, I mean, I'm a person that skips out of the country several times a year to be in the elements, as you say. But I'm well adjusted enough to not have to do that and still be okay. And I think that more people than not can do the same thing. They just don't want to be inconvenienced. And that's the issue that I have. It's like, oh yeah, I might feel a certain way. It might have an effect on my mood. And they deduce that as being worse than dying. Because that's the alternative. That could be the alternative, potentially. It could be play into my instant gratification and contract something that could cause death versus deal with this inconvenience, deal with, like, that's just how I feel. It's literally, to me, like intentionally having unprotected sex with a stranger. Like, that's how deep it is to me. It's like, yeah, in the moment, this raw sex would feel really, really, really good. Even though there's the potential, we don't know, we could know, that I could contract HIV. But I'm still going to do it because in this moment, it feels good. It's just like, yeah. That's me. I told you I was going to rant, yo. I told you. I wanted to get it out the way early because I'm going to go back to being happy after this, but it's something that I can't get down with. And I think that as leaders in the community, as trainers, as instructors and all that, we need to be at the forefront of teaching people the importance of social distancing and acting in a responsible way, because I think the more they see us out there doing it, the more they in their head justify them doing it. And maybe they're not acting as responsibly as you are. Maybe they're just doing it. And again, I see myself as a leader in this community, and especially after this rant here, I can't be out goddamn going on runs and stuff. I don't run anyway, so that's not a big deal. I danced. Hey, I saw something at Endgame. Hey.
There you go.
I didn't see any questions. I'm really surprised that no one had a comment or a question about either my rants or Everett's loose interpretation of sheltering in place.
We can rest assured that regardless of anybody saying anything, they're either agreeing with you or they're agreeing with me.
We're on total opposites.
Because we're so opposite. So
okay. It's okay.
That's
great. I'm gonna move on. So okay. I wanted to talk about, let's laugh a little. Let's laugh a little. And I have a couple of things. I want to know the funniest thing to ever happen to you while having sex. In and around having sex or having sex. This is my laugh question. Make me laugh.
The funniest thing?
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, before you answer, if you guys have any funny sex stories, please give us a little chime in. But we'll start with Everett.
See, the interesting thing about that time, there's really nothing funny going on. You know what I'm saying? It's really, There's really nothing funny going on. Like whenever you get to that particular moment, one of two things is happening. You either get down, you know what I'm saying? You either getting down or you not. You know what I'm saying? And so there's not really any funny thing. But what has happened, but I don't know if you'd really call it funny, is people have, I've been in a situation where, let's see what's a polite way to put it, is people have,
I'm already laughing.
where people have tooted, people have tooted and tooted.
Like a real fart, like out your butt, like a real fart.
I mean, something that made sound. Okay.
Wait, we have Chris said, I started to laugh when someone was going going down on me. And the thing is, they weren't even bad. I just was having a good time. Yes! You better go ahead, see Will.
Okay.
You better go ahead. Look, you got any referrals? No, I'm joking. That's so funny. So you said somebody farted. Chris said he was just having a good old time. He was having such a good time and made him laugh. Sort of similar to yours. I remember, and it's funny because this is when I was in college. This guy who I was with, and we laugh about this to this day. I won't say his name because I don't want his wife to know we still laugh about this. Yeah, we were having sex, and it wasn't a real fart, but I don't know if you've ever had that where, like, when you're having sex, we call it a pussy fart. Like, it's a sound. It's like when the air comes out, and like in the middle of it, I was like, pussy fart, and he like cracked up laughing, and we talked like that was 20 years ago, and we laugh about that to this day. So that was a funny time. But you're right. For the most part, unless like you and the person have a goofy relationship, it's probably like very serious. It's funny that you brought that up though, because I still do kind of, but I used to do this workshop with women where they're kind of like finding their inner sexy. I would do it for bachelorette parties, and we would bring awareness to like different parts of your body that you would use or not use in a striptease. And one of the things that I would say is, your eyes and your mouth and your face is powerful. And in the middle of a striptease, you wouldn't want to give your partner, unless y'all laugh in bed, you don't want to laugh at yourself while dancing because you don't want to give off the nonverbal that you're taking yourself for a joke. And when you said that about it being serious, and it's like kind of one or two things going on, that resonated with me because I believe that as well. I believe that most of the time when people are laughing in the bedroom, it's from like self-consciousness or like nervousness, and it's not from like, unless y'all have that kind of relationship where everything is a joke. Because I definitely have been with people where I'm like, yeah, we can like laugh and play while doing this, and tease and stuff like that. So anyway, you made me laugh, and so did Chris. I didn't see many others comments, and they just taking notes and sipping tea right now. They don't want to share.
Now what is funny. What is funny is
what
there, and it doesn't really have to do with real life, but you ever watch those pornos with bad acting, where you look, where you look actors like, there's no way this is even believable. Like, it's like.
While we're on the discussion of pornos, what I want to know is why isn't there ever eye candy for the ladies? I mean, the heterosexual ladies. There's a lot of eye candy for my gay girls. But like, why do men always look black? Like, why they always got hair? Like, why? Their bodies don't be banging. I mean, there's a couple. But like for the most part, they put a lot of interest in the bust and the butt of the woman. But the men, like that dude really could get a chick like that in real life. Come on, son. Like, yeah, that's my little 2 cents on pornos. Now, question. We're about to get spicy. Do you like pornos?
Do I?
Look, you opened that can of worms. My mom wasn't even there, but you opened it up. So let's go. We're going in.
Well, I think it would be a huge disservice if I said that I didn't. But I will say...
a huge lie. You're trying to use euphemisms. A huge lie. a huge disservice. Who are you talking to?
So, but so I have not used them. Um, literally, at least this whole year, I haven't used them at all.
That's a good year for you. You haven't had to use them.
You know,
That's a good year.
I, because this may be, well, because my whole thing is this. My whole thing is, I feel that ultimately they are a tool, right? But
What kind of tool? If you're just joining us, we're talking about the utilization of pornos right now. We didn't start the conversation talking about this, but Everett opened Pandora's box, so we're about to open Pandora's box.
so my thing is that it is a tool, but it's a tool that if you use it or if you overuse it, it will impact your real life scenarios. So for me, that is why I made the conscious decision to stop using them. It wasn't like I felt like they were bad per se, but I felt like I could have a richer in-person experience if I did not do it. That's it.
You deep.
I agree with
You
it.
deep. I'll be digging that deep all into though. God damn it. So would you watch with like another, like a date? Have you done that? Do you do that?
I do
Like
not.
a girl? Would you do you watch?
I do not do that because I do not watch it whatsoever. However, in the past, I've maybe done that maybe once or twice. Maybe once or twice in my whole entire life. That's just not my thing.
I love pornos, but I don't watch them a lot, but I love them when they're well done, and I watch them with people I've been with, and
It can help.
yeah, I love them. I love them for all the reasons that people love them. I love the bad ones because they're funny, and I love the good ones because they get you in the mood. They're sexy. Like, it doesn't have any impact. I mean, if I learn a thing or two, that's great. It's a positive impact, but it doesn't have any type of impact. I mean, it's an experience. It's like, that's me. I love them. All right, let's move on.
Listen.
We weren't even supposed to go there.
That's where I started back when I first started. They helped me. They taught
They
me a
helped
lot.
you. They gave you some moves.
They gave me moves. They taught me a lot. So I'm just not a user of them right now.
That's a good problem to have. That's a good problem.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get into why or why not next week. Tune in next week to
I just
learn why.
Gave you the why.
All right, we're moving on. Let's talk about. Oh well, we're kind of talking about it. All right, what's your opinion on if physical fitness affects sex drive and or sex aptitude and or sexual abilities? I guess that's aptitude. So physical fitness, how it affects or relates to one's sex drive and or aptitude and or longevity. Speak on it. And you can talk about it in terms of anyone, women or men.
I have tried to figure that out, to be honest. I don't think that there is a concrete black or white answer. I think that it depends on different scenarios because, like I said, I've been in situations where it has been maybe someone who wasn't like super fit and I've been highly attracted. And it's been times when, well, because I've been active and fit for so long, I can't really think of a time when it wasn't to really say that me not being in it or not being as active. I will say that being as active as I am in fitness, it does do something for that alpha, that alpha in a guy. It makes you like, you're like revved up, you have this super confidence, you have this amazing drive. And for me though, because a lot of it is natural in a sense. So it's like, even when I might miss a few days, I could still get it in if I wanted to. Like I could still find that in it. But there are, now, if you had talked about work, like actual work that uses brain power, now that is different.
Maybe we'll get into that.
Yeah,
Um,
the work game is different. The work game affects your mood swings altogether.
mm. Well, your work is fitness.
Yeah, but there's a difference. So
Yeah. Yeah.
watch what I mean, because there's a difference between me working out for myself and me using mental strategies to solve a particular problem outside of what I may be doing. So there's a
We got
difference.
a question. I have some comments for what you just said, but we have a question. How
That's for
important
you.
is
That's for
size
you.
to me? It's so great that you asked that question. Sit on my face, 99. It's so funny. Look at me blushing. It's so interesting that you asked that question. And let me just read what Chris says before I go in with the husband to drive. Okay, so what I was gonna say, and I'm gonna talk about this from the perspective, like from being on the receiving end of being with someone who was physically fit, really physically fit, and then I want to talk about being on the giving end, right? On the receiving end, I think that we talked about this last week, and 2 weeks ago, about the whole physique thing. And I definitely think for men going into the situation, I think it makes them feel more confident when they are physically fit from an endurance perspective, from a visual perspective. And for me, as a woman who loves to visually see things, I think it makes me want to have sex more when someone is physically fit. That said, and he might still follow me, so I'm not going to say his name. I had a run-in with, well, I had a thing with someone, and I mean, body of a god, swag, all of that. And his penis was so small. Like it didn't even go. It didn't go. And I'm not one of those girls that be like, size, man. But I mean, he's like 6'5" and chiseled body and da 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 da, beautiful face, all of that. And I mean, the package didn't go with the body. And at first, like at the sight of it, I was like, eh. But then I was like, oh, size don't matter. It's all good. Size don't matter. It's how you work it, right? That's what people like to say. And size did matter because it was so small that I couldn't even feel anything. It was that small. So to answer your question, sit on my face, 99, size does matter when it's that small. Now, I think that there are different, different positions on the spectrum where it may not matter as much. Like if you're shorter, but you have more girth, maybe not, or whatever, I don't know. But I know in that case, despite everything else on paper that was working right, it mattered in that case. From a woman's perspective, and it's funny because a lot of my training before getting to where I am now was with women and really spoke to this merging of sensuality, sexuality. What is this? Okay, you getting into too deep stuff. I don't sit up here and measure people's stuff, so I don't know about 7 and 9 inches. I don't know. Who is this? Right? I don't know. I'm gonna sit up there with a damn ruler like Bam Bam. All right. So anyway, I think from a woman's perspective, see, I'm laughing again. I think that when a woman feels more physically fit, however she defines it, I feel like she is more likely to want to get naked and want to have sex.
Now that I totally agree.
Yeah, for a woman, a lot of it, well, for the women that I know and for me, a lot of it is cerebral, and that confidence and that ability to show sensuality and sexuality, a lot of it's associated with how you feel about your body. And so when you get naked, you like proud of what's there, you want to get naked. Like I walk around the house naked when I can, like when my kids are not around and stuff. Like I love naked, right? On the flip side, if you're not confident, a lot of times you will project that onto your partner and it will really have implications within the relationship. So to that degree, I definitely think your physical fitness has an impact on how you feel about your body image. And I think that that directly correlates to your want or your need to have sex. Now,
Well,
does your physical fitness directly correlate to your stamina? Maybe not. You know, I definitely know because I was physically fit, like I have stamina, but I also was good at childbirth. Like childbirth was a damn sport to me. I was like, oh, 5 pumps, he's out. Bam, bam. So I know that it has like implications as far as that concerned, but as far as if he's in shape, is he good in bed? I don't think there are any facts behind that because, you know, I've been involved in situations where that was not the case. So anyway,
well, it's interesting,
um,
that you said that. It's interesting when you say that because one thing that I think, and this may come as a shock to some people, one thing that actually turns me off more than a woman's physique is her level of confidence with that physique. I've seen it on both sides of the spectrum. I've seen people who maybe didn't have the greatest physiques per se from a health perspective, but they've had all the confidence in the world. And so that swag was very attractive. That confidence, very attractive. But then on the other side of the spectrum, you know, I've seen where you have had people who you would think you have a great body, you have a great physique, you have a great anatomy, but you don't have the confidence. And because you're very shy and self-conscious, it, as much as I don't want to be turned off, it starts to wear and push me in that direction because of the fact that I am drawn to confidence. So it's an interesting, you know, dynamic there.
no, definitely, definitely. It looks like we have time maybe for another quick topic. So let's talk about public display of affection. Do you do it? Do you not? Why? Why not? Do you do it sometimes with some type of people? With not? I want to know how you feel about PDA.
I think that it's a shame to do it right now. We've got this quarantine going on, and there's no way people be out here, you know,
In real life,
face.
don't be trying to make up because you don't be trying to make up for earlier, okay?
No, but for real, no, for real though. Right now, that definitely is very true. Like that's a huge thing because even if I wanted to, I would feel almost like it's almost like when I go out, many times, it, like you want to do what you think is the thing that's least offensive to people, right? Especially like you mentioned earlier about us being leaders, right? So I go out, I put on my gloves, I put on my mask, and I try to do that more often than I would otherwise, you know, I guess feel the necessity to do it because I don't want other people to look and be like think that I don't care or think that I'm not being concerned or that I'm not taking it, you know, with a certain level of sincerity. So I always want to make sure that I do that. But as far as PDA, I've done it. I've done it before. You know, I've done it. I mean, I've done it recently. I mean, it's my thing is I think that the chem the chemistry usually dictates that.
Mm-hmm.
It dictates that. So
So
I'm,
yeah, and of
I'm
course, I'm talking about in non-COVID situations. Like, you know,
yeah.
I feel like it's a thing that either people feel comfortable doing or they don't. I don't feel like even if you're not physically doing it now, I think that if you're a person that does it, you feel the need to do it. And if not, not. Chris made the comment that like you read the person, it's sort of like a situational thing. And I agree. I think, you know, we talked about this a couple shows ago, is like, um, almost 40, I realized that passion is a big thing for me. I don't think that I would be with someone who I wouldn't want to kiss in public. Like I'm a really really touchy feely person, like really. Um, and it's like, so the person that, you know, I date, I'm going to be that attracted to them, or else I'm not going to date them, and I'm going to probably want to kiss them in public. I love it. And I love if somebody wants to do it to me, even if I don't quite do it, right? I love to be like, oh, stop, we'll do it later or whatever. I love that one or both of us have that type of chemical reaction to each other where we kind of don't care what's going on around us, that in that moment, it feels like we just want to be together. And that's, it's just me. I love it. And typically, I go places where people don't know me, so I can kiss people in public. When I go out, we're going over there. We're not going in the mix. We're going over there. I used to go out the country to do it. I used to go party in Cancun twice a year where people didn't know me. Now they know me there, so I can't go there no more. I used to go to Cancun and show my damn ass. Now, I got to pick a new spot. So anyway, anything else about PDAs? You said you did it recently. You care to tell with who?
No, I do not care to tell with who.
You plead the 1, 2, 3. You plead the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
Fifth. I plead the 5th. I plead the 5th. But here's the thing. I think that it's I really think it depends on what I'm expecting from any given relationship, right? And so depending on what, like when we talked about the passion or not the passion, the chemistry in that relationship, I think it could depend, because I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but I'm also not gung-ho about it, right?
Oh.
So, yeah. So like I'm not like, oh no, we can't. But I'm also not like, oh, every waking moment, let's just do this.
No, not every waking moment. But if the spirit just hits you and it happens to be in public,
then it does happen. But I know.
Let me tell you how serious I am about it. Because I'm a Capricorn and I'm a type A, so everything is extreme to me. There's no real middle ground, right? I was dating this guy. This was actually relatively recently. I was dating this guy, and we were like pretty heavy. It was kind of hot and heavy. But he had this thing where like he could turn emotions on and off really quickly, and that was already daunting.
That was already.
And you said what?
You said that was already what?
Daunting. The fact that
okay.
he had to be focused in on one thing at a time. And I don't like that. Just because you focused on one thing, if I lean in for a kiss my ass and go back to it. Don't feel like you got to be here. I don't like that. So we were in a restaurant. We were out. And I wanted to be touchy-feely because I'm fucking touchy-feely. And he was so dialed into ordering the goddamn food that he didn't do it, or he didn't want to do it. And then when I checked him on it, it was just like, what are you talking about? And I broke up with him. I ended that shit that night. Because I was like, nah. I mean, I've had 2 decades to not have what I want, not have what I need. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of chemistry, and I call it a chemical reaction, is something that I know any relationship that I'm going to be in cannot survive without that. I just know that about me. That's not the case for everybody. But I know for this person right here, that type of almost uncontrollable chemical bond is that's the thing that's going to make me want to be with you when your breath stink, when I can't stand you, when you want to get on my nerve. It's that kind of thoughtless chemical reaction. And it ain't always love. Love is different than a chemical reaction. Okay? I've had both. I've been very much in love with somebody, but didn't have that chemical reaction. And I've had a chemical reaction that made me throw out every rational idea that I could have. It wasn't love. It was a chemical reaction where I just couldn't do without that person. And I know, again, almost 40, I know that if you can't stop ordering food to kiss me, and you want to say you my man, even though I don't want you to be my man, right? Then this ain't gonna work. So why are we gonna go through the charade? Dead. Move on to the next. That's what happened. I think he still follows me. I hope. They don't know it's you, baby. Don't worry. So yeah. All right. Well, look, we're approaching that time, buddy. Anything else you want to talk about? I think we have about like 8 minutes.
No, I
Who's coming?
actually,
Who's pulling up? Who's rolling up? You need me to come over there? Social distance? You need me to roll up? Who's rolling up on you?
oh, oh no, ain't nobody rolling up on me, baby. Ain't nobody rolling up on me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you know, I got friends. I got copper friends. We can roll
Yeah,
up.
no, no,
Okay.
I don't have any I think it was good. I think you ran a very you know, solid discussion tonight.
So thank you.
Yeah, I think you ran a really solid discussion tonight. But I think that I think that chemistry is definitely a big, you know, a big thing of it. You know, to sum it up, I think is a very big theme, and that dictates whatever that particular relationship is. I think that as far as the quarantine goes, as far as the sheltering in place, you know, I think that we would all be wise to take those precautions. Goodness, why you size up like that? I was just saying.
You see me like, here he go again. He about to make me go off again.
No, I'm wrapping it up. I'm saying great. You know, everybody would be wise to take their precautions and everything like
And
that.
don't let me catch you. If I catch you out in the street and you doing what I talked about today, it's going to be consequences and repercussions.
Repercussions.
Just like, you know, it's going to be furniture moving, all of that. I'm not playing.
I got you. But yeah, so that is that. You know, I think that I am I am focused on weathering this storm as best as I can till we all can get back to being normal. So I always tell people, you know, prepare for the worst, plan for the best. You know, and
We'll
just
be back soon. We'll be back soon, but we can't get back too prematurely because what we do is we'll take one step forward and two steps back.
yeah, I
So
mean,
I just want people to have some patience,
yeah,
find some inner strength to deal with the things that you know you don't need but you want, and just be patient and slow, and we'll be back sooner than you think. We'll be back sooner than you think.
I mean,
Uh,
to be honest, this laying low, laying low,
it's been good.
slower.
It's been
This is
good.
great.
It's God's way
This
of
is like,
telling all of us to slow down. It's God's way of telling all of us to slow down. It's a lot going on. Like I said, between your president and and just world stuff. You know, yeah, he's your president. Your president and just like just everything. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world today. I think we all just needed a collective woosah. And I know, like for me, even as a mom, my kids, you know, they go to school 8 hours a day. I work on the weekends and we see each other on the fly. I mean, of course I raised them, so we're there, but this dedicated time that I've had with my children has been invaluable. I mean, before they went to school, I did everything with them, and now playing a major role in their education and just seeing like the funny little quirky little boys that they are. I know them, but I hadn't had this dedicated time with them. So this has been an incredible time for me as a mother to like just be home with the kids and like laugh at the stupid little boy stuff they do. And it's been really cool. One parting shot. What shows are you watching? What shows should we be watching with you this week? I just want to know what shows you're watching. I need some new material on DVR. So, you know, the thing about being home is sometimes you run out of good shows.
I'm actually on the second episode of something that's actually on Netflix. And I went on to Netflix to watch something else, I think, but this caught my attention. It's a show called Waco. And it's pretty interesting. Yeah, Waco. And it's about David Koresh. I forget what year, but David Koresh, a very charismatic leader who was a polygamist and a pastor of a church in Texas. And basically, long story short, the FBI came in and there was this big, you know, explosion and people died. And it was kind of like a mass suicide type thing. But it, you know, it was a real life thing, but it's depicted in this particular series. I think it's, you know, 8-10 episodes, whatever. So I'm gonna watch it.
We lived through that. I mean, I'm a little bit older than you, but we lived through that. I remember seeing that on the news. But yeah, I think I might have seen that. But if not, I might go back and watch it because it was a good. It was about how the FBI like staked out. It was about like how he had all these wives and stuff. And here, oh, I'm telling the story. All right, I'm sorry. Go watch. I'm known for that too. Go watch it. I've been watching The Last Dance, yo. So this is another thing around that same time. It's another thing we lived through, which was the Bulls dynasty. And with sports not being on, and with me like yearning, I haven't even watched sports in a while, but like yearning for it. I mean, it's riveting TV to see like Michael Jordan just like be real. Because like when we were growing up, we just saw him as like, I want to be like Mike. And even though I kind of loosely knew about the gambling and all that, he still was this thing and this untouchable thing. And like now when I hear him talk, and he's so candid. So The Last Dance, where they give you backstories on like all the players, and pretty much it leads. The Last Dance was their 90. What was it? Their 98 championship. We're coming into the season. They knew that the team was going to be dismantled, and how like a team with so much dysfunction at that time still could totally dominate the league. And it flashes back to the beginning, and it tells everyone sort of like trajectory. So they have like an episode that's focused on Phil Jackson, one on Rodman, one on Pippen, one, of course, the whole thing is about Jordan. They even talk about like Oakley, and like it's dynamic. It's dynamic TV. So The Last Dance is what I've been watching. It comes on Sundays on ESPN. They normally do, they have 10 episodes, and this Sunday will be episodes, I believe, 7 and 8. So catch that. And that's it. All right. Well, look, so you guys that are on right now, we're going to be doing this next week on Everett's page. So he's at FitGenius30. And we'll be here next Friday at 8:30. We won't be here at my Fit Spot. We will be at FitGenius30 having the same old good conversation about living, laughing, and exercising. I want to thank you guys for your participation. Will44, you was on fire tonight. Thanks for all your input. And Sit on My Face 99 YouTube. But simmer down a little bit. Simmer down now. Simmer down now. So anyway, we will see you guys next week. Thank you for living, laughing, and exercising with me, Michaela, and you,
Everett Shipman.
Shipman. Shelter in place, Everett, before I be coming for. And you live not close. You live not far from me either. If I catch you out. Oh.
I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
See you next time.
All right.